Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Mark Lin. Namaskar. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh urges the International Monetary Fund to reconsider its aid to Pakistan. The Confederation of All India Traders stops trade with Turkey and Azerbaijan over pro-Pakistan stance. Russia and Ukraine hold the first peace talks in over 3 years in Istanbul. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today interacted with the country's courageous air warriors at Bhuj Air Force Station in Gujarat. He evaluated the operational preparedness of the Indian armed forces in the region and examined the effectiveness of strengthened security measures. Addressing the air warriors, Rajnath Singh commended the contribution of the Indian armed forces in the success of Operation Sindoor. He said that the Indian Armed Forces and the Air Force in particular displayed not just their might, but also proved to the world that now India's war policy and technology have changed for the better.
ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के दौरान इंडियन एयरफोर्स ने केवल पराक्रम ही नहीं दिखाया है, बल्कि पूरी दुनिया के सामने प्रमाण भी दिया है। प्रमाण इस बात का कि अब भारत की युद्ध नीति और टेक्नोलॉजी यानी तकनीक भी दोनों बदल चुकी है। आपने प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में नए भारत का संदेश पूरी दुनिया तक इस बार पहुंचा दिया है।
The Defence Minister reiterated praise for the capabilities of Made in India weapons during his address. He said that the weapons made in India are precise and impenetrable.
यह संदेश है कि अब भारत केवल विदेशों से इंपोर्ट किए गए हथियारों और प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर ही निर्भर नहीं है, बल्कि भारत में बने अस्त्र और शस्त्र भी हमारी सैन्य शक्ति का अब हिस्सा बन चुके हैं। अब भारत में बने और भारतीय हथियारों से बने हथियार भी अचूक और अभेद्य हैं। यह पूरे विश्व ने देख लिया है।
Rajnath Singh also urged the International Monetary Fund to reconsider its decision to fund Pakistan, saying that they are going to spend a large portion of these funds on terror infrastructure in their country.
मैं मानता हूं कि आज के समय में पाकिस्तान को किसी भी तरह की आर्थिक सहायता टेरर फंडिंग से कम नहीं है। भारत यही चाहेगा कि IMF पाकिस्तान को अपनी $1 बिलियन की असिस्टेंस पर वह पुनर्विचार करे और आगे भी किसी भी तरह की सहायता देने से IMF परहेज करे। भारत नहीं चाहता जो फंडिंग हम IMF को करते हैं वह डायरेक्ट या इनडायरेक्ट किसी भी तरीके से पाकिस्तान या किसी भी देश में टेरर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को बनाने में वह इस्तेमाल की जाए।
Well, at the end of his address, chants of Bharat Mata Ki Jai, Jo Bole So Nihal, resonated at Gujarat's Bhuj Air Base. The Indian Air Force Chief Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh was also present.
Bole So Nihal, Bharat Mata Ki.
And the Bhuj Air Base holds significant strategic importance. It has been targeted by the Pakistani forces in the past. In fact, the Indian Air Force and the defense units there, they had deployed near Bhuj and Nalia. They successfully neutralized multiple hostile Pakistani drones in the recent days, effectively foiling attempts to target vital military installations of India. To expose Pakistan's false propaganda to the world, India will be sending delegations on foreign tours after May 22. Now, each delegation will have around 5 to 6 members of parliament, and senior members of parliament are going to be leading these delegations. India had done so in the past as well to counter Pakistan's propaganda. In a significant nationwide outreach effort, the 11-day-long Tanga Yatra began across the country on Tuesday. The Yatra honors the courage and sacrifice of India's armed forces, particularly in light of the recently concluded successful Operation Sindoor. India's Minister of Ports, Shipping, Waterways, Sarbanand Sonowal, he led a spirited Tiranga Yatra in Dibrugarh, which is in the northeast Indian state of Assam. And this rally which was started from Chowki Dingi, and it concluded at the ASTC bus stand. It was joined by several dignitaries. They were marching in honor of the success of the Operation Sindoor.
आतंकवादी के खिलाफ हमने जो लड़ाई लड़ी, इस लड़ाई में प्रचंड जीत हुई। तो इसलिए आज तिरंगा यात्रा हम इसको सफल बनाने के लिए, मनाने के लिए सभी कार्यकर्ता निष्ठापूर्वक जुड़े हुए हैं। तो इसलिए आज भारत माता की शक्ति दुनिया ने देखी है और हमारे देश के आदर्शवादी नेता, सबसे शक्तिशाली नेता, विश्व का सबसे लोकप्रिय नेता मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में आज भारत दुनिया का एक बहुत बड़े शक्तिशाली राष्ट्र के हिसाब से उभर के आया है। तो इसलिए हम सब गर्व महसूस करते हैं।
Well, enthusiasm surged in Gwalior in the central Indian state of Madhya Pradesh as people took part in the Tiranga Yatra, and hundreds turned up for this yatra. They are saluting the valor of the Indian armed forces. The Confederation of All India Traders, this group, they have decided to stop trade with Turkey and Azerbaijan because of their support for Pakistan. These countries are supporting Pakistan. Now, at a meeting in New Delhi, which was attended by trade bodies from over 24 states, the Confederation of All India Traders decided to ban all imports, exports and travel involving Turkey and Azerbaijan. And in addition, the CAIT, it's going to launch a nationwide campaign against goods manufactured in these countries, representing over 9 crore traders and small businesses across India. The CAIT is a vast network. It has over 40,000 trade associations. And in fact, this move signals strong economic retaliation against Turkey and Azerbaijan over their stance on Pakistan. Well, at a time when the global economy is facing what the United Nations calls a precarious moment, India has emerged as a bright spot. Now, the mid-year update of the UN report, it's titled World Economic Situation and Prospects, and it projects India's growth at 6.3% in the current fiscal year. That's the highest among large economies. This momentum is expected to continue into 2026, with the growth estimated at 6.4%. And in contrast, the global outlook remains subdued amid the rising trade tensions, policy uncertainty, and also a decline in cross-border investments. Let's clear some of the disinformation now. And India's Press Information Bureau on Friday has debunked claims that the External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar had said that India had informed Pakistan ahead of Operation Sindoor. Now, in a social media post on X, the fact-check unit of the PIB have stated that the External Affairs Minister had never made any such statement, and he was, in fact, totally misquoted. This fact-check unit said that the social media post has falsely implied that the External Affairs Minister's statement, they said that this statement is false, and this statement, they claimed that the External Affairs Minister had informed Pakistan before the start of Operation Sindoor. The Press Information Bureau's PIB fact-check unit has also dismissed a social media claim featuring a fabricated front page of the UK-based newspaper that's called the Daily Telegraph. And the PIB clarified that this claim is entirely false, and they've said that this image is also AI generated. The Daily Telegraph has never published any such article. The claim was amplified also by Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar, and he was speaking in the Senate on May 15, 2025. He also endorsed this fabricated image and headline and trying to give it, official credibility in a deliberate attempt at digital misinformation. The President of India, Draupadi Murmu, conferred the Nyan Pit Award on the Sanskrit scholar Sri Ram Bhadracharya and also on the poet Gulzar, honoring the literary legends for their remarkable contributions to Indian literature. The poet Gulzar was not able to attend this ceremony because of health issues. Gulzar is considered one of the finest Urdu poets of his generation and is a top director and writer for Hindi cinema. Ram Bhadracharya is also a renowned Hindu spiritual leader. He's an educator, he's a writer, and he's written more than 240 books and texts, including 4 epics. And this year's selection of Gulzar and Jagat Guru Ram Bhadracharya are for their contributions to Urdu and Sanskrit literature. With a legacy spanning over 5 decades, this award has celebrated the works of authors across various Indian languages, reflecting the country's rich linguistic and cultural tapestry. The Union Home Minister Amit Shah today inaugurated the new multi-agency centre at the North Block in New Delhi on Friday. This happened today, and the Home Minister, he said that Operation Sindoor is a unique symbol of the Prime Minister's strong political will, accurate information as well from intelligence agencies, also the infallible striking capacity, the capability of the Indian Armed Forces. India's Union Minister Bhupendra Yadav also took part in the first Sagar Mata Sambad. This happened in Nepal's Kathmandu. He outlined a 5-point call for global action to protect fragile mountain ecosystems. The Environment Minister of India stressed on enhanced trans-boundary conservation efforts, calling on all Himalayan nations to collaborate under the International Big Cats Alliance. The high-level global dialogue was convened under the theme Climate Change, Mountains and the Future of Humanity, with the participation from ministers and climate leaders across the world. Let's look at other news stories now. The Swedish investigators have said on Friday that they have found no evidence suggesting that the perpetrator behind the country's deadliest mass shooting had racist or extremist motivations. The attacker, identified by the police as Rickard Andersson, fatally shot 10 students and teachers at the campus Risbergska school in the city of Orebo. This happened in February. Hundreds of teachers marched in Mexico on Teachers' Day to protest against a 2007 controversial law that professionals claim hampers their working conditions. So the teachers, they are demanding a repeal of this law that has worsened their retirement conditions and has also, this has increased the legal retirement age from 58 to 65 years. Hundreds of music fans descended on the Eurovision Song Contest venue in Switzerland on Thursday. Colorfully dressed fans arrived at St. Jacob Shale, the arena where Israel's Eurovision entry Yuval Rafael was scheduled to perform at the second semi-final. Still to come here on DD India Live. Chad's former Prime Minister and opposition leader Success Masra has been abducted by security forces from his residence. The Mumbai Cricket Association has unveiled 4 commemorative sections, including a stand named after India's ODI captain and the Mumbai Indians icon Rohit Sharma.
Goa, an adventure paradise like none other. From lush forests to rugged hills, from pristine ocean beach stretches to stunning lakes. There is something to explore in every corner of the state. And some adventures are wilder than others. This is incredible. Watch postcards from Goa on National Geographic.
You're watching DD India Live. My name is Mark Lynn. The first direct peace talks between Russia and Ukraine in more than 3 years it lasted well under 2 hours in Turkey, with no apparent sign of progress in narrowing the gap between the two sides. So the Russian delegation said that they were satisfied with the results. They're ready to continue peace talks in the future. Kiev is seeking an unconditional ceasefire. Moscow said that it wants to address the root causes of the conflict and revive failed 2022 negotiations. Russia and Ukraine, they have agreed to exchange 1,000 prisoners of war from each side. It would be the biggest prisoner swap in more than 3 years of this conflict, which began in February of 2022. The leaders of Ukraine, France, Germany, Britain and Poland held a phone call with the US President Donald Trump on Friday after talks between Russian and Ukrainian officials in Istanbul concluded. After the call, Zelensky said that Ukraine is ready for quick steps for peace. Meanwhile, leaders stressed that Russian position in the peace talks was unacceptable. UK's Starmer said that the leaders were closely aligning on their responses. On Thursday, the US President Donald Trump said that there would be no movement without his meeting the Russian President Putin. And he said that, as soon as this meeting can be set up, they should meet.
When do you think you'll meet the President?
As soon as we can set it up.
Why wait?
Well, we're going to, I think it's time for us to just do it.
Meanwhile, the Kremlin has asserted that a meeting between Putin and Trump is essential, but they've required considerable advanced preparation for this. They need advanced preparation because they want this meeting to yield results. So the Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that such a meeting was essential to discuss the US-Russia relationship as well as Ukraine and other international issues. And ahead of the much-awaited first direct Ukraine peace talks, a trilateral meeting also took place between the delegations of the United States, Ukraine and Turkey in Istanbul, and these delegations included the foreign ministers from these three countries and other senior officials. And this dialogue aimed to focus on a peaceful resolution of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Elsewhere in Albania, there are leaders meeting of the European Union and other European countries as well, but with the exception of Russia and Belarus. And what are they doing? They are discussing the future of the continent. In fact, the European political community, it's called the EPC. It's an intergovernmental forum for political and strategic discussions about the future of Europe. And it was established in 2022, mind you, after the Russia offensive in Ukraine. So there are 47 countries in the EPC, including all the 27 members of the EU, and there are many other countries as well. Now, the EU and UK will be heading into a pivotal summit in London as well. That's happening next week. On Monday, in fact, it aims to finalize a landmark defense and security partnership while continuing to clash over fishing rights and food import checks. The UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will be hosting the EU leaders. These include the Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. This is part of a symbolic reset in post-Brexit relations. The defense pact, spurred by growing threats from Russia and concerns as well over the US support under Donald Trump, could pave the way for UK involvement in EU missions as well as access to that $167 billion EU defense fund. However, negotiations remain tense over the access of for EU fishermen and also the youth mobility scheme that Britain sees as a threat to immigration controls. Now, also officials expect the security arrangement to be signed, but they say that many issues require further talks. This summit is going to include 2 additional documents on shared global goals, also the ongoing contentious topics. Chad's former Prime Minister, who is currently the opposition leader, Success Masra, was abducted by security forces from his residence on Friday. According to party members, the reason for his abduction is unknown. Masra served as the Prime Minister of Chad from January to May of 2024. News from Thailand now, and that construction tycoon Premchai Karnasuta, 14 others along with him, have surrendered to the police. They did so on Friday over that building collapse. That building which collapsed killed nearly 100 workers during that powerful earthquake which took place in March. The surrender comes, in fact, after that partially built 30-story state audit office tower in Bangkok. It collapsed from that powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake. We recall that image. Now, in fact, rescue teams recovered 92 bodies during a 6-hour operation, a 6-week operation, which was there to remove the rubble. The Metropolitan Police said that Premchai and the other suspects were accused of negligence and breaching construction regulations. The sports news now, and Crystal Palace look to script history as they face Manchester City in a much-awaited FA Cup final on Saturday. The twice FA Cup runners-up, Palace, they've never won a major trophy in their 119-year history. But Palace are up against a City side which is far from their former glories of Guardiola's trophy-laden reign. In fact, Palace are appearing in their 3rd FA Cup final, while City are looking to get their hands on the trophy for the 8th time. This will be the 4th FA Cup meeting between Crystal Palace and Manchester City. They last faced each other in 2016. The Mumbai Cricket Association inaugurated 3 newly renamed stands at the Wankhede Stadium. They did so on Friday, and these stands were renamed in honor of Rohit Sharma, Ajit Wadekar and Sharad Pawar for their contributions to Indian cricket. The Devicha Pavilion Level 3 has been renamed after Rohit Sharma. It's now called the Rohit Sharma Stand, marking a tribute to India's ODI captain at his home ground. The Grandstand Level 3 will bear the name of the former BCCI President Sharad Pawar, while the Grandstand Level 4 will be dedicated to the former India captain way back in time, in the 1970s, early 1970s, Ajit Wadekar. Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute, the film that they made, A Doll Made Up of Clay, makes historic Cannes 2025 entry. It has achieved official selection in the prestigious La Cinef section of the festival. Now, the only Indian entry in this category, this film marks a significant milestone in Indian cinematic education journey. Jaya Sinha, in fact, had a conversation with the film crew at the Cannes Film Festival.
SRFTI's film, A Doll Made Up of Clay, has made it to the La Cinef section of 78th edition of Cannes Film Festival. We have with us the team behind this film. I want to ask, what is this zero-budget film? We are in an era of mega-budget blockbusters. How did you manage to make this zero-budget film?
So Zero Budget is a project in the producing for film and television department in SRFTI, where we don't allot any money, but we have the resource from the institute. So we need to collaborate with our from student or maybe from the outside. So we executed this in the 24 minutes and in the 4 days only. So whole team helped me to produce this cinema, a short film.
So tell me about, it's a 23-minute film and it's called as an experimental movie. As a student, what are your thoughts and how the process of filmmaking started with this, especially with this film?
So like Sahil actually approached us as like collaborators for the film, and then we heard the story from the director. And so all in all, it was a difficult thing to execute, but we did it, and then now we are here, and it's a brilliant achievement for the team and for SRFTA as well.
Uma is with us. Uma is the executive producer of the film. Uma, how it feels to make your film and then reach Cannes on the very first film? How it feels like?
You know what? It's just a funny incident when Sahil called me and he was like, Uma, our film got selected at the Cannes Film Festival. I was like, wow, it's crazy. And then after 10 minutes, after thinking for 10 minutes, I called him, Sahil, please do cross check. It could be a scam with us. And he was like, no, we got official email. So for us, we have never imagined taking a zero budget, making a zero budget film and taking it to this level is something which I think no one as a filmmaker can imagine it. But this is, beauty of different creative minds coming together in one place and then taking this decision to make something very out of the box. So, yeah.
From a student to a filmmaker, how it feels and how was the journey?
So, I am in my final year. So, this project is basically we can collaborate across the batches. So this was my last chance basically. This is my final year. So I was not expecting coming to Cannes because after graduating I have to again start my struggle in the industry. But in the final year I got this chance, like from a student filmmaker to a filmmaker now. So yeah, it's a very good feeling.
From student to filmmaker, from Kolkata to Cannes, these students represent the creator economy we are talking about. Fingers crossed, we hope that their film makes India proud. With camera person Sumit, Jaya Sinha, DD News, reporting from Cannes.
Indeed, all our best wishes to that team. In fact, the last CINEF is a selection of short and medium films made by students. That is the selection of last CINEF. That's all we have in this edition of DD India Live. Let's know your thoughts on the news of the day. And for those of you on the go, you can get the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app, which is available on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code and download it now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. My name is Mark Lin. Thank you for being with us. Namaskar. Geopolitics and